Well, the links between Denmark and Australia are numerous. Princess Mary there on your screen, the Hobart-born Crown Princess of Denmark. Jorn Utzon, the Danish-born creator of the Sydney Opera House, of course. They've only met twice at senior level on the football field, however, with honours even at 1 win apiece. The team news for Denmark: they make 4 changes from the side, beaten by Brazil. Goalkeeper Thomas Sorensen, as we say, is out with injury, so Stefan Andersen has won the battle with Anders Linegaard to replace him. Former Blackburn Rover Lars Jakobsen comes in for Daniel Vess on the right of defence. Stuttgart's William Quist, who's had an excellent season in the Bundesliga, slots into midfield in place of Christian Poulsen, and veteran Dennis Rommedahl is back on the right flank instead of Lasse Schauner. Rommedahl, the only player to be picked in Morten Olsen's very first squad back in 2000, who is still there. Just a 10th cap for Stefan Andersen, who plays his club football in France for the Evian club. Did have 3 years in England with Charlton Athletic. He is the modern-day Peter Schmeichel, if you like. Schmeichel's son Kasper is part of the Euro 2012 squad, a late call-up due to that injury to Thomas Sorensen. There's Christian Eriksen, the golden boy of Danish football, who plays for Ajax in the Netherlands. Watch out for him in the creative midfield role. A reminder of the Australian side, some interesting choices by Holger Osik. Matthew Sporanovic wins the battle with Sasha Ognanovski to partner Lucas Neal in the centre of defence, with Matt Mackay starting in the problematic left fullback role. Luke Wiltshire will play on the right of midfield, and the attacking threat will be provided by Harry Kewell and Alex Spross, with support from Archie Thompson. There is Archie Thompson, who had such an impact in Australia's last international against Saudi Arabia in February when he came off the bench. Really gave the whole place a lift. Holger Osik admits he has a weakness for the Melbourne Victory striker. That's what he calls it. Our referee today from Italy, Antonio D'Amato, a 39-year-old lawyer from near Bari in Italy. So we're underway in this final friendly before the World Cup qualifiers for Australia and, of course, the European Championships for Denmark. Andy Harper alongside for the call. What do you think Holger Osik is looking for this evening, Andy?
Well, some answers, Simon. He's looking for some players to put their hand up. He's got a number of his regular cast not ready to play tonight for one reason or another. Some surprises with the players he has picked, but it does give the likes of Archie Thompson a huge opportunity. Harry Kewell too, of course, who's been a staple in the national team for a long time now, but hasn't played for a long time. So this is a big opportunity for him to show that he's also ready for the World Cup qualifiers, which start next week. That's the big time for Australia. The final qualifying stage for Brazil 2014 gets underway next weekend against Oman. And that's what tonight is all about for the Aussies.
And for Denmark, they will be looking for a much more resolute defensive display than they showed against Brazil and against Russia in their game prior to that. They've leaked 5 goals in those 2 matches and looked rather shaky. So Daniel Agger, their talisman and captain in the heart of that defence, will no doubt be wanting to keep a clean sheet. Australia will have other ideas, playing in all blue with the gold stripe today, the Socceroos. Their 467th international all told, Australia. 235 wins, 99 draws and 132 losses. But the result is not an important statistic tonight. It's more about performances, collectively and individually. This is Simon Busk-Poulsen. And the cross finds Rommedahl, who volleys, and he can volley the ball. Angle was slightly narrow, draws a nod of approval from Morten Olsen.
A rather sluggish defensive opening from Australia, it has to be said. Denmark worked the ball from back to front, really without a lot of pressure, indeed any pressure put on them at all. No intensity from the Socceroos, and a chance just a couple of minutes in for Rommedahl on the far post. He did hit it quite nicely. It was a very, very difficult angle.
Here's a very sweet striker of the football, Dennis Rommedahl, scored a goal in the Euro qualifiers that fairly tore into the back of the net from all of 30 metres. Perhaps why Morten Olsen continues to pick him, even though he's approaching 34 years of age, winning his 116th cap tonight, and he's going to keep Matt Mackay busy, that's for sure.
Well, he will, but Mackay will also, for his part, if Australia can get their share of possession, will keep Rommedahl busy. It's going to be a challenge for Rommedahl to keep up with Mackay over the course of the game, because I think aerobically Matt Mackay might have a bit of an edge on him, but when it gets down to a sprint, that's going to be a big test for Matt Mackay against Dennis Rommedahl.
This is Michael Crondelli, who plays on the other flank to Rommedahl, and it's volleyed clear athletically by Matthew Sporanovic. Important interception too for Australia. A good bit of early pressure here by the Danes. Eager to get back on track after that defeat against Brazil. Wasn't so much the result itself, but more the defensive catastrophes that befell them in that first 45 minutes.
Yeah, they were very sluggish. And there's more than a bit of history repeating itself for Denmark. They had bad form going into the World Cup in South Africa 2010. The first game there was a 2-0 loss against Holland at the Soccer City Stadium in Johannesburg.
Here they come again, the Danes. Rommedahl looking to pick out Bentner.
And this time,
sorry
Simon, and this time, of course, they've had bad form going into the Euros, where they face guess who next week? Holland again. So they've really got to blow away some of the cobwebs. They've started well in possession, but it has been assisted by Australia's lack of intensity. Close the ball and the passing options down.
Christian Eriksen with the corner. Oh, it was an awkward bouncing ball in front of the Australian defence. Socceroos have survived. Mark Schwarzer with a few points to make.
Well, I think Schwarzer's just seen what everyone else has seen. It's very sluggish. Look at this. It's a haymaker from Jedinak. Anyone, please find it within yourself to try and close the ball down. It's been a very sloppy start by the green and gold.
Twist for Simon Kjær, who plays in Italy with Roma. Bit of an up and down season in Serie A. Some talk before today's game that Kjær, who's on the ball here, might have been replaced in this game by Andreas Bjelland, but he's on the bench. And North and Wiltshire between them sort that one out. Wiltshire was a little bit late on his man. Play continues for the moment. Simon Busk-Poulsen is the man down. And Morten Olsen and the Danish bench less than pleased with the challenge from Luke Wiltshire. And in fairness, Andy, that's not the first time he's been late.
No, I think it was a little bit of a naughty one, this from Luke Wiltshire. That was the first instinct.
Oh, it's a bad one.
It's worse than naughty. That's a bad challenge from Luke Wiltshire. Didn't miss. Did not miss.
Well, the referee has perhaps missed it. No indication that a yellow card has been issued to Luke Wiltshire. Maybe he's a little fortunate that it is a friendly game. I'm not sure Simon Busk-Poulsen will see it that way. Busk-Poulsen. Eriksen back for Crondelli. Daniel Agger. Ball slightly behind Nicklas Bentner, allowing Matt Mackay to make the clearing header. Field is strewn with red and white debris from the stands. Rather blustery day as well in Copenhagen, and cool. Jedinak, that's a good ball by Mille Jedinak, and Brost trying to slide it in. Well, Australia's best moment of the match on 15 minutes, and Alex Brosk not too far away from continuing his recent purple patch with the national team, and beautiful approach play from initially Kuhl and then subsequently Jedinak.
And it was the touch from Harry Kuhl which set up the attack. That was beautiful. And then the pass from Mille Jedinak, one of the features of his game which has so caught the attention of Holger Osik, was excellent, and the position taken up by Alex Brosk was as good as anything that came before it. A good chance for Australia, well fashioned, great football.
Ball breaks here for Michael Krone-Deli. Danes just given something to think about for the first time in the game, really. Long-range effort from Zimling, and it stings the palms of Schwarzer. Nothing more.
A good hit from the man who plays for Club Bruges in Belgium. He and his central midfield partner, William Kvist, have been together in those dual roles since they were kids.
Straight into touch off the boot of Nicklas Bendtner, who's in fine form at international level. 5 goals in his last 7 matches. Yet unwanted, it seems, by Arsenal. Rumour is he's on his way to play at Borussia Dortmund with Mitch Langerak. And, of course, Mustafa Amini.
Well, it might be a situation that suits him better. He's been loaned out a couple of times now by Wenger. First port of call was Birmingham. Most recently with Sunderland, and maybe the Premier League has seen what they're going to see of Nicklas Bendtner for the time being.
Good ball by Thompson. Jade North with a deep cross. Kuehl back into the centre. Australia threaten again. And just a few signs that Australia's starting to settle into some sort of rhythm.
I think they've been pretty good with the ball from the start of the game, and again it was Jade North in a very advanced position. Harry Kuehl, I thought, did excellently to get some meaningful contact on that header in the far post. It looked like he was going to be a distant second in getting to it, but his header managed to set up a little bit of an opportunity for Australia. And with the ball, the Aussies have been quite fluent. Still think 20 minutes in, unless this is the preordained plan with Oman in mind and the heat they're going to have to play in and the energy they'll have to conserve, if the plan for that game is to sit back and try and be compact.
Beautifully weighted ball for Romerdale. Back it comes for Bendtner, who's held up by Bresciano. And a trip on Thompson. Free kick Australia.
And even with next week in mind, I think there's a little bit too much time and space for Denmark in midfield to pick a pass and deliver that pass.
3 times they played each other between 87 and 1990. So perhaps a little score to settle between the two coaches, but they know each other well. I'm sure there's a lot of mutual respect. And of course, the one thing that Morten Olsen has done, Andy, that Holger Osik hasn't, and he'll hope to put that right over the next few months, is take a team to the World Cup finals.
Well, he's got a great opportunity to do that. Holger Osik, his tenure with the Socceroos has been highly successful. Narrow losers in the Asian Cup of 2011 with a single goal scored by Tadanari Lee in that final of the Asian Cup for Japan. An opportunity to exact some revenge June 12 at Suncorp Stadium when Australia takes on Japan. And his qualifying campaign so far has gone very well. Stage 3 was done very matter-of-factly. And the big ones to come now, starting next week against Oman.
And of course, you'll see both of those games live and exclusive right here on Fox Sports. Slightly risky ball by Stefan Andersen, the Danish goalkeeper. Big debate in the Danish media this week as to who should get the gloves for Euro 2012. In fact, a newspaper poll saw 77% of those who voted opt for Anders Lindegaard, the young Manchester United custodian. But Andersen has got the nod tonight, and he's no doubt now the favourite to keep goal against the Netherlands. This is Simon Kjær. Romerdale looking for Lars Jakobsen. And that's a goal kick. Sparanovic doing his job very well again. Neil. Kuhl immediately put under pressure by the energetic Danes. Mackay finding Thompson. Kuhl.
He's found a free kick there, the ref, on Simon Kjær. One of the bright lights, one of the few bright lights to come out of the World Cup campaign in South Africa was Kjær. Didn't play against Australia in that warm-up game in Rumsig.
So a chance for Mark Bresciano to deliver into the Danish penalty area. It's a good flight on it too. And there's a flag up near touchline. Daniel Agger leading the appeals. Denmark bring it away into the bright sunshine through Simon Busk-Poulsen. Now with Kjær.
One of the things that hasn't happened in the nearly 25 minutes of play so far, Simon, is that Christian Eriksen has had no impact on the game whatsoever. The number 8 for Denmark, their Wunderkind. Just 20 years of age, but it's on him. So many hopes for the future, the immediate future of Danish football are pinned. His club Ajax, his coaches at Ajax liken him to Wesley Sneijder. Of course, the greatest of all Ajax players, Johan Cruyff, says he's right out of the Danish school. He's the next Michael Laudrup talent-wise. He's just got to deliver now over the course of his career. It's a big expectation on a young set of shoulders.
That's been given away rather casually by Jade North. Forward comes Busk-Poulsen again. Loves to get forward, doesn't he? Bentner climbing, it evades him and Rommedahl, who's behind him, but he's caused a few headaches, hasn't he, Busk-Poulsen? Very positive down that left flank.
And he's a piece of tall timber, is Nicholas Bentner. He's a good goal scorer. He mightn't be Arsene Wenger's cup of tea, but he is a good goal scorer. His conversion rate is pretty good. And if Australia continue to allow that sort of delivery into the penalty area, Nicholas Bentner will score his share of goals.
Zimling. Jakobsen to Simon Busk-Poulsen. Now Michael Krohn-Deli, who plays on the left flank but is more naturally right-footed. He and Busk-Poulsen interchange, hugging the touchline. Now they'll switch the play through Simon Kjær. Not the greatest distribution from the central defender. Both he and Agger look as though they spend a lot of time in the tattoo parlour.
I read something very interesting.
And the hairdresser.
Well, indeed. I can't talk on either topics really, except to read something from Raul Morales. His Agger's Liverpool teammate, of course, doesn't mind a bit of body art either. One of his career goals is to end up with more tats than Daniel Agger. Well, good luck. There can't be much skin left.
Mackay, that's a good ball from Matt Mackay, just slightly beyond Mark Bresciano, and Anderson was out quickly to gather.
Oh, that was good football all round. It's good instinct from Matt Mackay. Just missed a yard of pace there, Marco Bresciano, but his run off the ball was equally instinctive. And Mackay and Bresciano haven't had the pleasure of playing for the national team together, of course. Bresciano absent until the Saudi Arabia game since the last World Cup, and it's in that interim period that Matt Mackay has made his introduction under Holger Osik. So that's a new little combination that's working its feet nicely, Mackay and Bresciano.
Talking of feet working nicely, Rommedahl just shifting the ball away from his opposite number. Wilkshire with a clearing ball down the touchline. It's very much a counter-attacking Australia, perhaps the way they're going to have to play in Muscat. I know that Holger Osik is less than pleased that kickoff in Oman has been set for 5 o'clock local time, which is going to mean it's going to be pretty hot. Early to mid 30 degrees. Pleasant day in Copenhagen, but certainly the mercury not hitting anywhere near that sort of temperature.
Well, so far the Rommedahl threat hasn't materialised for Matt Mackay, who's made a seamless reintroduction after missing that Saudi game through suspension to his national team duties. I think the general consensus is he's capable of doing a job at left back, but most would prefer to see him further forward. But he's holding his own nicely against Rommedahl.
Almost half an hour played in the Danish capital, no goals. Just the one real chance of note for either side. Nicky Zimling at the long-range effort for Denmark, easily fielded by Schwarzer. Alex Brosk at the other end for Australia. Daniel Agger venturing forward. Well, why not? And it's a beautiful back heel. Down goes Agger. The referee has a look, and he awards a penalty kick against Matthew Sporanovic for the challenge on Agger, and Denmark have a penalty right on the half-hour mark.
Well, it was worth something in the end. It was a beautiful little back heel there, and it's Christian Eriksen, the man who hasn't really done a lot, but this is what he's capable of. Beautiful. What about the radar? And that's as good enough a penalty as far as I'm concerned. Schwartz was out looking to collect. Matt Sporanovic, accidentally or otherwise, got enough of Daniel Agger to force the referee's hand. But the lead-up was just masterful from Christian Eriksen. Just a little hint at what all the talk's about.
Well, the captain is going to take the penalty himself. Mark Schwarzer has saved a few in his time, but he can't save that one. Denmark in front through their skipper, Daniel Agger, who not only wins the penalty, but scores it too. That's a good spot kick. Well out of the reach of the Fulham custodian. Schwarzer went the right way, but couldn't get anywhere near it. Daniel Agger's 6th goal for his country, his 46th cap, and Denmark probably on the weight of possession, and he will feel that they're perhaps worth that lead.
Yeah, I think so, and it was the amount of delivery they've got into the penalty area as well as the warning sign, but that's been the case for the last half hour, really. Australia haven't defended with any huge intensity. And strangely, Simon, it was the most ingenious piece of Danish football that was required to unlock the Australian defence, because otherwise they've been able to receive the ball, face Australia's penalty area without any pressure on the ball carrier at all, been able to deliver a pass or set up a crossing opportunity. But a little bit of magic work there to prise open Australia's central defence.
Well, Daniel Agger will be feeling a whole lot better after scoring that penalty. He was one of those Danish players at fault in the first half against Brazil, gave the ball away for the 3rd goal, scored by Hulk, and he's put his side in the lead in Copenhagen. Matthew Sporanovic has got the wrong side of his opposite number. Contact enough for the Italian referee to point to the spot from where Agger made no mistake. This is Kuehl. Kuehl, who's not played in 2 months, but has been undergoing a very rigorous personal fitness regime in the UK, where he's been holidaying with his wife. He's earned Australia a free kick with half-time starting to loom. Bresciano's had one good delivery into the box. Sporanovic has gone forwards. Daniel Agger clears it, volleyed back in by Bresciano. Again, the Danes clearing their lines, which are forced to scamper back. Neil's ball cut out by Zimling. North back for Schwarzer. Might break here for Kuehl, who steers into the path of Alex Brosk, and that's good control by Brosk. He's got two defenders alongside. Bresciano beaten away by Anderson. Promising move by the Socceroos. Kuehl and Brosk linking up. Bresciano with the final effort. Finally, Anderson's been forced into making a save.
Yeah, again, more good play from Australia. Just thought Alex Brosk might have been able to get away from Simon Kjær there, who showed good speed to be able to round Alex Brosk up. And Brosk there, fabulous composure. Excellent little dink with the outside of his left foot to find Mark Bresciano, who's as willing as ever. It's been a good half from Bresciano. Good opportunity again from Australia. They've had a couple of really good moments in possession.
Mackay to Brosk. Lays it off for Bresciano. Maybe he was just thinking about the shot there for a moment. He was a fair way out.
You got that feeling, didn't you? And certainly as a youngster coming through in the NSL, the now defunct Carlton Football Club, I have some very distinct memories of him not even thinking from that sort of range in his younger days. And certainly the impression I got too, Simon, that he was looking to wind back the clock, but composure was his option thereafter.
He's lost out to Crone-Deli here. Bit short for Romerdale, but they've made something of it, the Danes. Here's another chance for them perhaps to score a second, but Christian Eriksen unable to control it. Might drop for Romerdale. Instead, Australia get it out towards Kuehl. Good first touch by Kuehl. Jedinak. Put it in front of Archie Thompson. Here's another look at that opportunity some moments ago. Bentner with the cross, and it's just the first touch. Came off the shin, didn't it, of Christian Eriksen, which allowed Jade North to clear.
Well, he's exactly the man. If you're Denmark, you want to be receiving the ball in those situations. Christian Eriksen, his back heel set up Daniel Agger for the penalty situation, converted by Agger, and that one. More regulation for someone of his quality. Just his technique letting him down. Australia relieved.
Touched on by Bentner. Romerdale for Lars Jakobsen. Crone-Deli. Now Jake North is really going to have to scamper to get there ahead of Busk Poulsen.
Well, that's going to need tightening up, irrespective of whether this is a friendly or not. I mean, there was an easy, unpressured pass into Australia's penalty area. No communication, apparently, between Mark Schwarzer and Lucas Neal, which put Jade North under some real heat. And fortunate, in one sense, for Australia that they got the goal kick out of it.
Bentner combining with Eriksson. It breaks for Krohn-Deli. Busy Nicky Zimling. Busk Paulsen. Challenge from behind by Miller Jedinak. Didn't agree with the referee's decision to award the free kick. No dispute about the corner. Michael Krohn-Deli, one of the home base players with Brøndby. They're a bit like Australia, aren't they, the Danes? Real mix of players from the highways and byways of Europe. Eriksson's corner. Neil with the cushion header. Well, it was Dennis Rommedahl who thought very carefully about the volley. Didn't quite catch it, did he? Kuhl's got a bit of work to do here, and he's done it expertly. Superb hold-up play by the Australian number 10. Bresciano for Jedinak. Sporanovic involved in the key moments of this friendly international, with 5 minutes to go before the interval. A concession of that penalty dispatched by Daniel Agger on the half hour, given away by North. Zimling. Busk Paulsen. Ground stuff at half time is going to have a bit of a job to do, clearing all these streamers and bits of paper off the turf for the second half. Looks like somebody's dropped a crate of rubbish all over it. This is Simon Kjær. Brosk. Mackay. Seen Matt Mackay get forward on too many occasions. He's on the ball here. Not sure that's exactly where he intended the ball to go, but it's still with Australia. Bresciano floating it in behind Jakobsen for Thompson, who's struggled to get into the game the last 10-15 minutes.
I thought he was entitled to a free kick there. Just into the small of his back was Jakobsen. Referee saw otherwise. Fair enough. Throw in Denmark. There's been a bit quiet, Archie Thompson. It's really been Harry Kuhl, the focal point of Australia's attack, with Alex Brosk working off him. And support from Bresciano.
Now Bresciano will unleash, and Anderson is happy to palm it behind for a corner. Well, that's a couple of opportunities he's had from just outside the penalty area. That one was on target.
And he's looking as good as ever, Bresciano. This move into the Gulf to continue his professional career is working a treat at the moment. That's the evidence. It's freshened him up.
Short corner taken for Luke Wilkshire. Bresciano to try and pick out a teammate in the penalty area. He's been top scorer for his club in the UAE, Al Nassr, this season. Mark Bresciano with 10. So he's in a good vein of form in front of goal.
He's providing a wonderful creative link between the midfield and forward line for Australia. Cavalieri, of course, missing this match because of promotion contest for his Italian club Sassuolo. Wish him all the very best in those. He's been hankering and longing for a Serie A berth ever since he started playing football, I'd suggest, and it's getting very close for him.
Well, got a bit of work to do. Sassuolo, they lost the first leg of that playoff in Italy against Sampdoria by 2-1, but they do have the home leg to come. Interception by Brosk. Mackay. It's Jakobsen, and Denmark are back on the attack now through Christian Eriksen, who immediately looks for Nicholas Bentner. Bresciano trying to burst through midfield. Now there's a chance through Brosk. Jake North getting forward to help. Has assistance from Kuehl. Jedinak. Well, given away though cheaply by Sporanovic. In fact, it was Mile Jedinak. My apologies to Matt Sporanovic. You do get the sense, Harps, though, that rather uneven start when Denmark saw an awful lot of the ball. Australia have sort of grown in confidence, even despite the concession of the goal.
Look, as we approach the end of the first half, I think the story has been pretty consistent for the entire first half. Australia have looked to be in reasonably good touch and good fluency in possession. Defensively, I reckon they got a few questions to answer.
Well, Morten Olsen's side lead at the interval. The goal coming on the half hour through their captain Daniel Agger, who won the penalty after the infringement was committed by Matt Sporanovic. Beautiful touch in the build-up from Christian Eriksen, giving us another little hint as to his qualities. And Agger tucking the penalty away to Mark Schwartz's left. That's the way it is then at half-time in Copenhagen. It's Denmark 1, Australia 0. Well, the first half performance by the Socceroos, Andy. We've heard the guys' verdict at half-time. Yours?
Yeah, well, it was the way I saw it in the first half too. I just think there's, from the very get-go in the game, Australia had no intent, evidently, to pressurise the ball carrier, and Denmark came through as they chose, as they saw fit, and delivered the ball into Australia's defensive third and then the penalty area without any pressure on them whatsoever. That's got to change. With the ball, we've been pretty good. And Bresciano, I think, has been outstanding again. Fabulous performance against Saudi Arabia. His return to the national team setup was an eye-opener. And in my opinion, he's just continued in that vein here. He's really looked the part.
Jedinak looking for Bresciano, but intercepted by the Danes. Balls with Lars Jakobsen, formerly of Everton and Blackburn and West Ham. Plenty of top-flight experience in the big leagues of Europe, this Danish outfit. That's a loose ball low, and Australia onto it in a flash through Harry Kuehl, who tries for goal, but he's dragged it wide. And a good opportunity at the start of the second period for the visitors.
Kuehl had an excellent first half in his own right, and he's read this beautifully. Delightful touch after he'd read the play so nicely. Delightful touch to open up the opportunity to bear down on goal and shoot. And you'd reckon the hard work was done by then, because at that point, I'd reckon most people's expectations were that left foot was going to click into gear, and it let him down. It's been such a trusty lieutenant to what's been a super career for Harry Kuehl. I'm sure he expected more.
High foot by Thomas Karlenberg. Hence the free kick. He's another one who plays his football in France with the Evian club. There's three of them in this Danish squad. Bit of a surprise that he's been called back into the Danish squad. He's not been involved since the World Cup in 2010, but he's on here in the second half instead of Christian Eriksen, as Luke Wilkshire is caught offside. Perhaps lucky to be on the park. That was the verdict of Robbie Slater and Mark Bosnich. Was a poor challenge in the first period. Competitive game, you'd fancy it would have at least been a yellow card. Karlenberg. Simling with a switch of play. This is Andreas Bjelland. Having the chance to stake his claim for a spot in Euro 2012. Certainly seems to be between him and Simon Kjær for that berth alongside captain Daniel Agger. Rommedahl. Oh, that's a good ball into the box. Zimling goes down. Sporanovic again with the challenge.
He was a nervous boy looking at the ref, wasn't he, Matt Sporanovic? Beautiful work again, but not enough pressure in midfield. And from that point on, Australia were chasing shadows. I think the ref got that one right as well. The contact was sought by the Danish attacker. Matt Sporanovic entitled to stand his ground. He looked very quickly at the ref though, didn't he? Sitting on a yellow card. It was he who conceded the penalty. Daniel Agger, who then stepped up and scored that penalty. The goal that separates the teams.
Mackay unable to link up with Thompson, but Australia still have it. Mackay's chip, they look for Kuehl. Jade North just on his heels there for a moment, allowing the Danes to steal possession. Rommedahl. Nicholas Bentner. He's not had too many opportunities tonight. Busk Poulsen. He's got forward at every possible opportunity. He's given that one away though. Goal kick. Morten Olsen, who's incredibly only the second longest serving coach in Europe. The top honour belongs to Gianpaolo Mazza of San Marino, who's been in charge since 1998.
Well, that San Marino position is a highly sought after one too, Simon, let's face it.
Yeah.
Well, I'd reckon Morten Olsen, well, I definitely would have been able to hear if there was any dissension for a long time, because he's got a congenital hearing problem. Offside, Harry Kuehl. His life, Morten Olsen's that is, revolutionised by his hearing aid. Prolonged his career. Harry Kuehl none too pleased with that decision.
Daniel Agger has continued his run to join in with this Danish attack. Zimling. Good challenge by Jedinak. Busk Poulsen. Agger stretching, just deflected it enough towards Thomas Karlenberg. Jakobsen. Neat 1-2 with Zimling. Good football by the Danes. Zimling. Now some space here. Claims a handball by the Australians, not heeded by the referee. Busk Poulsen again. Very lively.
He's causing problems for Australia down that left-hand side. A fortuitous deflection found its way to Mark Schwarzer, or else Australia might have had something more serious to defend again.
Well, a few of these Socceroos, as the boys remarked at half-time, have been in a training camp in London to try and sharpen up their levels of fitness. At least a few weeks for most of them since the end of the season, but it's pretty much the same story for most of the Danes as well. There have been moments for Australia, but perhaps not quite enough of them for Holger Osik's liking. Jedinak sweeps it out to Wilkshire on the right flank. Volleyed clear by Zimling. Australia done an excellent job in that screening defensive role, but Australia come again through North. Sporanovic. Kuehl challenged initially by Busk-Poulsen. Wilkshire. Intelligent ball towards the near post, and Harry Kuehl. Will it drop for an Australian on the edge of the box? The answer is no.
It's those situations where you miss the likes of the Mark Viduka, who's wriggled out of those tight areas down near the byline inside a penalty area and scored throughout his wonderful career. Harry Kuehl, of course, a very different type of player, expert in his own way. But that was the moment for a Viduka.
Cross just bisects the two Australian attackers. Drops here though for Bresciano. Little sandwich up towards Archie Thompson. And it's cleared away behind by Bjelland.
You've got to admire again the work of Marco Bresciano, and just deciding and sizing things up beautifully, and it was bold as well from Archie Thompson to try and bring the ball down.
Bresciano to take the corner, still having trouble with the streamers. Flicked on at the near post by Jedinak, and they'll get another go at the Australians.
And his delivery from set pieces has been good again tonight. Bresciano, this was a dangerous corner. Jedinak got there first. And Bentner didn't know a heap about it, but he was in a good position and backed himself to head clear.
Bresciano a little deeper this time, but good clean take by Anderson. An early release too, perhaps a little too early.
And well read, Matt Mackay. Well, those are the exchanges where most people would have expected Rommedahl to cause trouble for Australia, but Mackay dropped off, read that quick release brilliantly out of the goalkeeper's hands and had plenty of ground and time to defuse the situation. He's done well again tonight at left fullback.
And how well has Bresciano done there? Broke through two challenges and then drew the foul on the third. It's like he's never been away from the Socceroos starting 11. Looks to be really enjoying it too. Neil. Kuehl. Trying to burst clear of the attentions of Nicky Zimling.
Brilliant to get out of that. His touch is looking really good, Harry Kuehl.
It's Kasper Schmeichel on the right. Very reminiscent physically of his dad. Great Danish team of 1992 that's won the Euros against all odds. They'll have to try and do so again. And that's a group of death which starts next week. Bresciano's free kick meantime. They've got numbers here, Australia. Volleyed by Sporanovic, but it's a hefty and illegal challenge by Archie Thompson on Bjelland.
He just clipped Bjelland's right leg there as he looked to shepherd that ball away. Again, Marco Bresciano, the prompter for Australia. It's impossible to leave him out of the calculations from here on if you're Holger Osik. He remains fit. He's been excellent again this evening.
Almost an hour played in Copenhagen. Australia still trailing to Daniel Agger's penalty. And still no action on the Australian bench. Might not stay that way for too long. Talked about Rukavitsa and Robbie Cruz on the bench. Of course, Tim Cahill is there as well. Wonder whether he might get a run at some stage. Neil's challenge was a fair one. to go for Jade North. He'll eventually just pumps it long rather hopefully. Bresciano battling in midfield. Mackay back to his goalkeeper. Well, the Parkin Stadium holds 38,000. It's not really near to capacity tonight, but those that are here enjoying giving their team a send-off ahead of their trip to Poland and Ukraine for the European Championships. That's a real sense of expectation about their chances. We'll come back to that. This is a chance for Alex Brosk. He's one-on-one, and Anderson has made a good block, spread himself and made himself big. That chance is still there for Australia. Matt Mackay's chip, it's beyond Brosk. It'll break though for Wiltshire. Kuehl leaping, claiming he was held. Mackay. Real pressure by the Socceroos. Sporanovic, Thompson, Bresciano. Matt Mackay breaking forward. Thompson. Drops here for Kuehl, who'll set it up, and Jedinak with a shot that is charged down by Bjelland. And Denmark have ridden that particular little storm by Australia. Now they'll look to counter through Niklas Bentner. Squared up for Rommedahl. Zimling one option, up it goes towards Bentner, and Schwarzer says, I'll have that. A good action at both ends of the park. Kuehl trying to steer it into the path of Brosk. It was the right idea. Flags raised for offside against Brosk, I think.
Well, the two best chances of the half going to Australia's strikers. Kuehl, just beautiful angle on that header, and Brosk away. And with his less favoured right foot finding the palms of Anderson, who'd read it nicely, and prior to that, of course, by a few moments now, that other breakaway from Harry Kuehl. The two best moments of the half for either team.
Denmark preparing another change. That's two decent opportunities Australia have had in the second half. Harry Kuehl, it's right after the break. They might have another one here. Alex Brosk took it beautifully in his stride, but Anderson was out very quickly, and from that moment on, Brosk was second favourite.
Just got to be tighter on this first touch. A superb through ball again, and Brosk with his back to the goal, so it wasn't with his head down, rather, not able to see where Anderson was coming from. His position was good there, the Danish goalkeeper, just off his line, enabled him to pounce. But more good work from Australia. Good second half by the Socceroos.
Well, another change by the Danes, and this is a young defender who plays in the domestic league, and he's going to replace the captain, Daniel Agger. This is Jokos Akore, who plays for the new Danish League champions, Nordsjælland. Winning just his third cap. Young man, still only 19. Actually born in the Ivory Coast, moved to Denmark at the age of 3. And he's reckoned to be a real prospect, Akore. So Agger's work is done. He's scored from the spots, won the penalty as well. He gets a rest for the last half an hour or so. Australia trying to work their way back into the game, and Kuehl just out-muscled by the youngster, who draws rich applause from the gallery for his first involvement. He was big and strong there, and he needed to be.
No time to settle into the game. Harry Kuehl tested him out first up, and he scrapped to get that front position and wasn't going to get beaten.
Denmark's lead still intact. Still no movement on the Australian bench. Busk Poulsen almost dropped for Karlenberg, cleared by Sporanovic. Now with Jakobsen. Rommedahl. Kvist. Square ball for Zimling. Krohn-Deli's touch, Karlenberg. Stringing the passes together here, Denmark. Rommedahl. Just the final one going astray. You do sense the urgency has just picked up from both sides. Maybe demanded by the coaches. Archie Thompson's touch. Kuehl. Broska's come near post. Corey in the way.
Well, irrespective of the game's status, Simon, Holger Rasik's not a man who likes to lose football matches. His players aren't people who like to lose football matches, and they've built themselves a terrific record under this coach. And they won't want it to slip. And their first half defensively wasn't good enough. And Denmark easily able, on the balance of that first half, to get their goal, if not more. Australia with the ball good, but defensively not good enough. Second half much better, with better chances to score the Socceroos, and now the changes come. Thompson off, Carney on, Mark Milligan to make his entrance as well.
Miller Jedinak, the other man to make way. Mark Milligan getting another opportunity in the midfield role, in which he did rather well against Saudi Arabia. Looks as though David Carney is going to play in a more advanced role, which will probably mean Matt Mackay remaining at left back. Confirmation of that change. Thompson for Carney. Carney, a late arrival in Copenhagen following Asian Champions League duty with Bunyodkor. They are through to the quarterfinals of that competition. In the same vein, we should congratulate Adelaide United for their achievement too.
Indeed, and Bunyodkor's win with David Carney came at the expense of Sashok Nanovsky's Seongnam. And no Japanese clubs in the last 16 of the Asian Champions League.
Touched by Karlenberg. Busk Poulsen bursting into the penalty area. It's opened up for him. Well, he almost didn't know what to do, did he? Should I shoot or should I pass?
Well, I thought he delayed nicely, but when he looked up for the pass, he's feeling embarrassed, as one might. But again, beautiful, incisive work. And Rommedahl halted his run, and Poulsen was looking for him just to make another 3 or 4 yards towards that near post. Little feint there, looked up, waiting for that run from Rommedahl. It didn't come. The moment lost.
Okore with the header, and it's prodded in. A second goal for the Danes. And it's the substitute Bjelland who's got it. Well, a scrappy goal to concede from Australia's point of view. A first international goal for Andreas Bjelland. It came from the corner. Joris Okore had the first effort. Came back off his own player, Krohn-Deli. And eventually Andreas Bjelland forced the ball over the line, despite the last-ditch efforts of Mark Bresciano. 2-0 Denmark.
Well, it was scrappy. And probably should have scored in the action that led up to the corner. But in the end, it was Bjelland who got the rebound in. Okore got rid of Lucas Neal. Nice delivery from the corner. Okore won that challenge, got the better of Lucas Neal. And then the rebound effort in from Bjelland to make it 2-0.
Harry Kuehl's work is done. Tim Cahill on in his stead. See if he can make a difference. In fact, it's going to be a double change for Australia. Robbie Cruz standing by as well. Luke Wilkshire, the man replaced. So Tim Cahill on for his first cap since September 2011, the away game against Saudi Arabia. Australia conceding 2 goals in a game, Harps, for the second consecutive match. It's not often they do that these days.
Well, again, over the course of the 70 minutes, their general defending has at least invited a 2-goal deficit. In my opinion, they've been tighter in the second half, but still not tight enough. And whilst the first goal came from a penalty and the second from a scrappy corner.
That's a poor ball by Sporanovic, to say the very least, and Nicholas Bentner should have made it 3-0 there. That was a horror moment for Sporanovic, and he will be very, very pleased to see that ball go wide of the post.
And his heart went in his mouth just about there, and relieved from that point on. Bentner, I can only restate my claim that I think he's actually a good finisher and goal scorer. He made a mockery of that statement there. He squandered a great chance to make it 3-0. Just a couple of minutes after they went 2 up.
Two big sighs of relief from Matthew Sporanovic. Sure, all the information that is unfolding on the pitch this evening, Harps, is being digested piecemeal by Holger Osik ahead of those qualifiers.
Well, I'd suggest that the only reason and the only way he'd be happy with the team's defending is if he's mindful of the fact that he's put them through a very difficult week of training camp and they're fatigued and they're looking to peak next week. He knows those situations.
They have had double sessions Monday and Tuesday.
So he'll be making that judgment. But without that knowledge and just looking at the way the levels of intensity,
Romedale.
That's got to go up a notch or two, beyond question. And he'll make that assessment whether the intensity is acceptable this evening based on the training they've had. There's another open shot and goal from Dennis Romedale. But with the ball, the Socceroos have been fluent. They've been in good nick. And they've had the best chances to score in this second half. Brosk and Kuhl, 2 great chances.
Australia's record in friendlies in Europe is pretty good. Recent years, they've lost just one in the last 5 years. In fact, that was to Slovenia, since they were beaten, funnily enough, by Denmark in London in 2007. But looks for all money as though they'll lose here. Bresciano's certainly not going to give up the fight. He's been close to Australia's best, if not actually the best.
Well, that run in Europe, as you referred to, Simon, the Slovenia match was the first game in the reign of Holger Osik, even though he didn't run the team. He was in the stands. His appointment was just announced. Han Berger ran the team in Slovenia. And since then, they've been away to Poland, Switzerland, Germany. Done very, very well.
I'm sure Holger Osik will take a defeat in Copenhagen if he can exchange it for victory in Muscat. And from then on in Brisbane, we'll double change. Blimey, these two look like twins, Harps. So it's Daniel Vess and Tobias Mikkelsen. Neil Kilkenny standing by as well for Australia. So Mark Bresciano's excellent night's work is done. Neil Kilkenny on for Australia. Simon Busk-Paulsen is going to be one of those replaced. Martin Krohn-Deli the other. So Tobias Mikkelsen on for just his third cap. And Daniel Vess, the other change for Denmark. Here is Daniel Vess, another one from Evian in France, where he's currently on loan from Benfica in Portugal, and has, by all accounts, had a really good season. And he can play on either flank. This is Mikkelsen. That was Vess's first touch over the head of Romedel. Carney down the line.
Well, interesting from Morten Olsen if Daniel Vess does go to left fullback. He plays Simon Poulsen. We'll see if that's how it shakes down, because the expectation is that for the Portugal game at least, Simon Poulsen won't play that match, but the tendency would be for Silberbauer to come in. He played to real effect against Portugal in both qualifiers and did a very good job against Cristiano Ronaldo. A little bit of a surprise that Silberbauer isn't getting a run in preparation for that game here at left fullback.
And of course, their absolute first choice, Nikolai Boylussen, the youngster from Ajax, is out injured, so they've got a bit of depth in that position. Or a few problems, depending on your point of view. Matt Mackay is shifted up into midfield. David Carney switched to left back. Kale looking to get involved, taken away from him by Kviss. The Danes pretty comfortable at the moment. Jakobsen, who's taken over the captain's armband from the departed Daniel Agger. Nice touch for him on his 50th international appearance. Bjelland, scorer of the second goal. Karlenberg in field, Zimling with the switch. Bjelland will keep it moving. A touch by Vess. Karlenberg. First touch by Carney was heavy. Jakobsen. And Lucas Neal, coolness personified under pressure. Not, it must be said, from any onrushing Dane. Kilkenny. Carney back to the Bristol City midfielder, Milligan. Cruz. Looking to link up with North, gets the throw in. Cahill. North rather telegraphed his intentions there. Well, Harps, who, if any of the fringe players, if you want to call them that tonight, has beaten the path to Holger Ossick's door? Anyone?
Well, I think the outstanding players have been Kuehl and Bresciano. I think Alex Brosk has kept his name in consideration, most definitely. Josh Kennedy and Brett Holman are going to come into calculation. So that's food for thought for Holger Osick, certainly. That'd be the three names that I've picked out. Matt Mackay's been very, very solid again at left fullback.
Kvist. Now Romerdale. It's a bit of a loose one from Thomas Karlenberg.
If it is going to be a race to the line between Ognenovski and Mats Baranovic to partner Lucas Neal. General play, Mats Baranovic has been good, but it was his foul that conceded the penalty, and then one errant back pass which put Bentner in front of goal.
And one very nervous moment where he thought he might have conceded another penalty as well.
Indeed, but the ref got that exactly right. So does his selection swing on those two moments? I don't think Holger Rosick is as circumstantial as that when he looks to assess players. His general performance has been good.
Well, they've got numbers here, Australia. Brosk. Could they perhaps halve the deficits? Cahill. Corey has done well off the bench for Denmark. Looks the part, doesn't he?
I guess the last time we saw the national team in qualifiers, Michael Zulo was beating a path at left fullback. So, again, without knowing his injury status or fitness status, it's not as though David Carney's playing a heap of football recently. And so if he's managed to get his nose in front of Zulo in consideration, I find interesting.
Romerdale offside. Good decision. We're into the final 10 minutes in Copenhagen. Performance that has been a little patchy by Australia. Some good moments, particularly at the start of the second half when they fashioned a couple of good chances. Conceded an awful lot of the ball in the first half. What will Holger Rosick take out of it ahead of those World Cup qualifiers? Reminder, Oman next weekend, and Japan to come a few days after that. Australia's World Cup group gets underway tomorrow. Jordan playing Iraq and Japan up against Oman. So the road to Brazil really starting to get interesting over the next few days.
Well, it sort of charges out of the blocks, doesn't it? And Japan plays Oman tomorrow in Saitama, and then Japan backs up against Jordan when we play Oman in Saitama. Japan have two home games against Oman and Jordan before they come to Australia.
Mikkelsen. And the bounce made it awkward for Schwarzer, but it's a good view of it.
Now, from the outside looking in, as Mikkelsen just makes it a little bit nervous for Mark Schwarzer, had it covered in the end. Goes to form and expectation and rankings. Japan should come to, or might come to Australia. Might be expected to come to Australia with 6 points under their belt already. Australia cannot afford a slow start against Oman.
William Kvist has got a good 82 minutes under his belt after his recent injury problems. He's been replaced for the remainder of the game by Jakob Poulsen. One of the domestic base players with Midtjylland. Both coaches not shy of going to the bench, although it did take 65 minutes for Holger Rosick to make his first change. Here's one of those changes, Tim Cahill. It's Baranovic, who's played the full game, cushioned down by Okore. Forward comes Karlenberg. Jake North standing up his man well. Oh, he might have left the boot in there on Tobias Mikkelsen. He certainly felt that.
I think he stood on his foot when he dispossessed him.
Robbie Cruz. Milligan. Kilkenny. Carney. Matt Mackay, always a willing runner. He's on the ball here. Well, Bross turned away from that one. Hit him rather than he heading the ball. Socceroos still have it through Cahill, and now they'll have a free kick with a foul on Jake North, right on the edge of the box too. Chance to get on the scoreboard perhaps and give them some reward for their toil. Neil Kilkenny's delivery. I think it came off Lucas Neal, but not in the direction he wanted. Back it comes from Mackay. Chested down by Cruz. Carney had a lash at it. Okore blocked it. Kilkenny. Carney inside, back for Kilkenny. Cahill. Milligan to try and keep Australia moving. Denmark remaining disciplined, even in the latter stages of this international. Keen to preserve their clean sheet, no doubt, particularly after their recent problems against Russia and Brazil.
Well, this will be a good confidence booster for Denmark going into that Euro Championship opener next weekend against Holland. Daunting prospect though that may be for Morten Olsen, but he won't be fooled by what he's seen. He'll be fully mindful of the fact that the win is good for confidence, but Australia have easily had the best chances to score goals of the two teams in this second half.
Forward it goes from Bjelland. Foot race between North and Daniel Vess. Nudge in the back by Cahill. Easy decision for Antonio D'Amato. There are under 2 minutes to go in Copenhagen. Australia staring down the barrel of what would be just a fourth defeat under the stewardship of Holger Osik. Morten Olsen is still not happy. Kilkenny. Matt Mackay finding some room. Carney. Chance to attack the fullback. Trying to go through two of them. Romedale providing cover for Lars Jakobsen. Between the two of them, they dealt with it pretty easily. Simling, who's had an excellent game for Denmark. Mikkelsen. Schwartz has come a long way, and he just manages to palm the ball a few metres. Wasn't the big goalkeeper at his most convincing. Bjelland. Mikkelsen. Denmark really ending the match as they started, Andy, in full control. Australia have had good periods in between, and it's perhaps a performance that Holger Osik will look back on and think he's glad to get it out of the way, get the ring rustiness out of the way for the Australians. They'll hope for much better in the World Cup qualifiers. They'll have to be much better.
Well, they will, but to only repeat the point, he's the only one who'll know if this level of output they haven't had the ball is acceptable within the context of the week they've had in training and the load he's put on them in training. But that load, however big or small, hasn't seemed to have affected them when they've been in possession. They've had 4 or 5, maybe 6 terrific passages of attacking play.
There's a chance for Romedale to really seal the victory with a flourish.
You think of those two moves that ended up with shots on goal from Marco Bresciano. You had the effort from Alex Brosk in the first half, and then the Brosk and Kuehl efforts in the second half. 5 really good sights at goal on the back of very convincing lead-up play. And there's that little bit of contradiction in the performance. They've been sprightly enough in possession, but they haven't been sprightly at all on balance without the ball.
Jakobsen might be the final chance of the game if they can fashion one, the Danes. Under 30 seconds to go. Zinli squaring it up. Karlenberg. Daniel Vess is going to hit one. And that might just about be that. Victory number 50 at Parken since the stadium was rebuilt in 1992 is confirmed. A boost for the Danes ahead of their near impossible task in the group of death at the Euros. But just a 4th loss for Australia under Holger Osik, who will hope that that statistic won't be improved upon for a while yet, with the World Cup qualifiers to come starting in Oman on Friday. Denmark comfortable. Australia had their moments. Daniel Agger with a penalty in the first half. And then this strike from substitute Andreas Bjelland in the second half gave them a comfortable victory in the final analysis by 2-0. Plenty to ponder, no doubt, for Holger Osik ahead of those bigger challenges to come. Marc Bresciano perhaps their best on the night. They did forge a few chances in the second period, but couldn't put one away. The full-time scoreline in Copenhagen, Denmark have defeated Australia by 2-0.